Hi, I'm Hilma Volk, and in other videos I've mentioned that the scalene muscles, if they're tight, can cause false carpal tunnel syndrome in your hand, and it's often misdiagnosed, and there have been surgeries done on the carpal tunnel when actually it was not carpal tunnel at all. Now, how do you know if the scalene muscles are causing your problem? And scalene muscles, as I mentioned in other videos, go from the side of the neck and down to the first and second rib. There's actually three different parts to the muscle, and in some people there's actually four parts. And it connects to the first and second rib by going underneath the collarbone, and it pulls the ribs up closer to the collarbone, and the nerves that go into your arm and hand and fingers go under there, as well as an artery that supplies the fingers and hand, and the veins that return the blood. Now, there are actually different variations in here among different people, because let's say you were a robot instead of flesh and blood, and let's say the nerves, instead of being human nerves, were wires, and let's say that the veins and arteries were hydraulic tubes. Now, if a mechanic working on this robot were to take out the wires and the hydraulic hoses and go to lunch and put new wires back in and new hydraulic hoses, chances are the wires and hoses wouldn't go in exactly in the same place they came out of, even though they would function perfectly well. So the same is with different human bodies. You've got slight variation of where these things are. Just a little bit, just enough so that if the muscles in the scalenes are tight, they can affect these things differently. But anyway, one way to tell if the scalene muscles are causing problems in your fingers is to do this. Now, you just don't want to put your hand up, you just don't want to do this, you want to really pull your collarbone up. That's pulling the collarbone away from the ribs. Now, if the pain or numbness or tingling in your hands is diminished when you do this, it's a very good indication that you've got a tight scalene problem. Now, you can also have pinching of the nerves in more than one place. And as I've mentioned in other videos, nerve conductivity tests don't always tell, because if it's pinching on the vein, which brings blood back from the hand, this can cause swelling to some degree, and putting just even a little bit extra swelling in the carpal tunnel region can give a false carpal tunnel, besides the fact that the scalene muscles, among other things, can refer pain into the hand, primarily the thumb side and this part of the forearm. They can cause pain in the wrist and weakness. And I've got other videos that tell all the possible problems that the scalene muscles can do. Also, if you've got pain in the shoulder, sometimes that's the scalene muscles, because they're blocking off nerve function and part of the blood function into the shoulder. So if you can do this, if you've got shoulder pain and the shoulder pain goes away, it's a good place to start. But anyway, that's one way to tell if you've got a scalene problem causing false carpal tunnel in your hand.